A snowmobiler dies after getting caught in an avalanche in southeastern BC's backcountry. Calgary's cold snap continues.
Reach people that might be slipping through the cracks.
Outreach teams are out providing warmth for the city's most vulnerable.
The University of Calgary's Connor Yarashak takes the win.
And we meet the Calgarian tearing up the track on the simulated NASCAR racing series.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla DiGiuseppe.
Good evening. Avalanche Canada is warning of dangerous backcountry conditions in southeastern BC and throughout the interior after a snowmobiler was killed in an avalanche near Fernie on Tuesday. The slide happened before 3 p.m. in the Matheson Creek snowmobile area, 11 kilometers southeast of Fernie. One of two snowmobilers triggered the slide when ascending to the ridge, fully burying that individual and carrying them as much as 200 meters down the steep, rugged terrain. They did not survive. The second snowmobiler did not get caught. The recent winter storm and a buried weak layer of snow contributed to the avalanche. The risk of avalanche was rated high for the area in recent days and is now at considerable risk. Avalanche Canada warns if you're heading out to the backcountry to choose more conservative terrain. A rock slide has forced the closure of Highway 93 north of Radium. It happened in Sinclair Canyon. Linda Tutt came across it shortly after it happened and captured this photo of the rocks on the road. There are no reports of injuries. Parks Canada says the highway is closed in both directions between Kootenay National Park west boundary and the McKay Creek Operations Center. The Radium Hot Springs pools are also closed until an engineer determines when the highway can reopen. The next closure update is expected at noon Thursday, according to Drive BC. And we now know what went wrong when a gondola cabin carrying 8 people came crashing down last March at Kicking Horse Mountain Ski Resort near Golden, BC. A report by Technical Safety BC says a cracked component was one of several abnormal conditions that led to the collapse. It says a hanger arm broke shortly after leaving the station at the bottom of the mountain. The cabin fell about 1.5 meters, causing minor injuries. A manual rope evacuation took more than 7 hours. The report says the hanger arm had a large dent from a previous impact, and the resort had inconsistent follow-through to ensure cabins were entering stations smoothly. As Calgary's temperature drops, the need to help the city's most vulnerable goes way up. And while many in the city can bundle up or stay inside, the unhoused population only has so many places to go. But outreach teams are out there as the wind chill falls to dangerous levels. Jordan Canagan has more.
As the cold grips Calgary, relief from the winter weather is badly needed.
There's so many homeless that need this warm-up tent to just come and get a coffee, a soup, and a sandwich to warm them up.
Mobile warming stations provide those essentials and more. With plunging temperatures, several groups are out in full force to help the city's most vulnerable.
Part of what we're trying to do is reach people that might be slipping through the cracks. And we often encounter a lot of people here, some that are new to homelessness.
With the heaters at full blast, staff can also direct people to housing programs and wait lists. Other groups take that type of help right to them.
So when we show up with warm clothes and somebody's really cold or they're just wearing a pair of sneakers and we have either toe warmers or boots for them, it makes a really big difference. And it reminds people that people do care. Street patrols bring food, hats, gloves, socks, and more to those sleeping on the street, providing extra layers badly needed when wind chill drops into the -30s.
Benches are not warm. So trying to stay warm in a cold snap like this is really difficult. A lot of people do frostbite their toes and hands and ears and whatnot.
Well, you can't outrun the cold weather. Many are bundling up to brave the deep freeze. For others, it's more about survival.
Well, you know, it's important because a lot of people, they don't have anywhere to go.
Jordan Canagan, CTV News, Calgary.
Danielle is in with our first look at the weather. The worst of this cold is not done with us just yet.
Right. It's going to get colder before we start our very, very slow warm up. And just brace yourself for cold all week, basically. But the coldest of this stretch is tomorrow morning with a wind chill of -37 in the city. This is serious cold, and this is when you can get frostbite in certainly less than 30 minutes to exposed skin. So layer up, bundle up, all of those things if you are heading out tomorrow morning. By the afternoon, -16 with a wind chill of -24. This will come with a lot of sunshine, which will look nice. The roads will still be very slippery in many spots as well. That full forecast is just ahead.
Thank you, Danielle. The Premier is once again being called on to defend one of her staffers over a controversial statement made on social media. As Kevin Green reports, it's the same staff member who was under fire after saying a young man questioning the Alberta Next panel should be spanked.
Bruce McAllister heads the Premier's Calgary office and was the chair of the Alberta Next Commission when he said this to a teen questioning the panel.
Your parents should turn you over your knee. Let's go over here.
He apologized for that, but Wednesday he was courting controversy again, taking to X decrying Canada's record of immigration, saying, "The people orchestrating this reckless, unsustainable mass immigration into Canada fill me with profound disgust." In the lengthy tweet, he went on to say, "Why import from nations with failed systems when our Judeo-Christian heritage and principles have worked so well here?" CTV contacted McAllister for clarification, but he hung up on us, so we asked the Premier.
Do those views of Mr. McAllister about countries of origin and Judeo-Christian values represent the views of you, the Premier's office, and the United Conservative Party?
Well, I can tell you that Western society is based on the Socratic Judeo-Christian tradition. If you go back and look about why it is we have the society we do, there's no question that there are some foundational influences to that.
Smith also defended Alberta's record of welcoming immigrant diaspora communities, but later under questioning seemed to place the blame for school complexity issues on immigrant children.
Whether because they come from war-torn countries, don't speak English, or have other types of issues with delays, it has put an immense pressure, almost to the point of breaking, on many of our schools.
McAllister's tweet mirrors the language of far-right groups around the world, according to immigration lawyer Raj Sharma.
It sort of smacks of things that we've heard from other places, whether it's Brexit, of the far right, whether it's from France, whether it's from the MAGA and the Trump crowd as well.
Smith's chief of staff also tweeted about immigration, hinting the Premier may be making changes. Rob Anderson posted, "Watch the televised address of Premier Danielle Smith Thursday. This absolute insanity has to stop. It will." Smith would only say she has several topics to address Thursday, the economy being top of list. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
The Premier's address will air here on CTV tomorrow night starting at 6:45 p.m. The officers who shot and killed a heavily armed man, ending a 30-hour standoff which paralyzed a southeast Calgary neighborhood in 2024, have been cleared of any wrongdoing. On March 14th, 2024, police tried to execute a firearms search warrant at Patrick Robert Kimmel's Pembroke Meadows home. ASERT says the 45-year-old barricaded himself and shot at officers in an armored vehicle. Police returned fire. ASERT says Kimmel targeted members with the intent to kill or gravely injure them. They say Kimmel told a negotiator he'd come out shooting and even threatened to detonate a grenade. Police used blowhorns, deployed gas, and filled the basement with water to get Kimmel to surrender. The next day, he emerged wearing an armored vest with a live grenade and shot at 5 officers in the backyard. ASERT says they fired back, striking him 12 times, killing him. 6 more firearms were recovered from the home. ASERT says the officers responded accordingly and will not face any charges. Alberta's budget will be released next week, and a passenger rail train to Banff could get the all clear. The project will be funded privately by Lyricon Capital. That's if the province commits to building a train line from downtown to the airport. Tyson Fedor reports.
A $1.5 billion passenger rail line proposed between Banff and downtown Calgary could be getting closer to reality.
We are actually very optimistic that we are going to be able to push this over the finish line.
A finish line that has been moved further down the line over the last several years. In December, Lyricon Capital, the project's proponent, submitted it to Ottawa's Major Projects Office. It can speed up projects it deems in the national interest. However, the hydrogen-powered train is contingent on the province pushing forward on an estimated $1.1 billion track from downtown to the airport.
The federal government cannot really review our proposal in any fulsome way until they also have a proposal from the provincial government, the Alberta government, to build a train from the airport to downtown Calgary.
Last year, Ottawa earmarked nearly $4 billion over 5 years for high-speed rail between Toronto and Quebec City. Federal Minister of Transport Stephen McKinnon was in Calgary Wednesday. He's awaiting a master rail plan study from the province, which was supposed to be released last fall.
I'm all ears when it comes to passenger and cargo rail in this part of the world.
There's, I think, 8 or 9 different segments, and so it's a longer-term plan, but it'll be released in the coming weeks.
In the coming weeks, once next week's provincial budget drops, and Calgary's mayor is hopeful for significant investment.
We're going to be continuing to make the case for investment, particularly in transit, that benefits the Calgary region.
Calgary's business community is also on board, wanting to see greater connection between major hubs and the mountains.
What seems to have happened is that the focus has been on the population center in the east, and there's been no attention paid to the west. I do remember being able to travel between Edmonton and Calgary by rail, and I do remember when the rail service regularly scheduled was cancelled in 1985.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Just ahead, a surprise floor crossing. An Alberta Conservative jumped ship to the Liberals after initially saying he was going to leave politics. City Council has approved a development in Springbank Hill, disappointing a group of nearby residents who fought against the plan. Council voted 9-5, with the mayor abstaining because he had a potential conflict of interest due to family members living in the area. The proposal was originally for 56 townhomes. It is now scaled down to a mix of 35 detached, semi-detached, and townhomes. The city announced the final round of non-market affordable housing projects that will be built from the Housing Capital Initiative. It comes as Calgary deals with a housing crisis, though the latest real estate data does show a cooling trend. Jacqueline Wilson reports.
It may just be beams in an empty space now, but by summer 2028, this former office space on 8th Avenue Southwest will be transformed into 64 non-market affordable housing units.
This is life-changing. It's a safe, stable, adequate, affordable place to call home. A place to rest, a place to heal, a place to build a future with their families.
This project is one of 8 to receive a portion of $29.3 million from the city as part of the Housing Capital Initiative. It's the only conversion project. The rest are new builds spread across the city. In total, 566 units will be constructed, ranging from studios to townhomes.
These are homes for people who need them the most, folks who need a hand up and the right support to move forward.
This funding marks the completion of a $60 million municipal commitment to affordable housing, creating over 1,000 units, though the need is even greater.
Some of our largest wait lists, like say for Calgary Housing, you have 9,000 plus families.
Calgary is dealing with a housing crisis, with the average single-family home priced at $700,000. Journalist and author Jessica Barrett says larger-scale continued projects like these are the key to beating the crisis.
They're co-ops, they're community land trusts, they're co-housing, and all of these things fall under the banner or the umbrella of community-led housing. And they're happening here, but they're happening sort of on the fringes, in pockets, in the shadows. We don't have systemic support for them in most ways.
Many lower income and younger Canadians have been priced out of the market, but the latest data from the Canadian Real Estate Association shows that could be changing.
A lot of first-time homebuyers who've been locked out for so long, who now have an interest rate where they can pass the stress test finally. Think of it as water behind the dam of people in their 30s who all still want to own homes and haven't bought them yet, that are going to show up on the scene starting this year.
Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
The province has introduced a new online tool aimed at helping Albertans access assisted living and continuing care options. The Assisted Living Navigation Portal provides users with a map of supports that residents and their families can access across the province. It aims to help identify supportive living accommodations, spaces available, and out-of-pocket costs. By 2035, it's estimated there will be 1 million seniors in Alberta. You can find a link to the portal on our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca. Edmonton Riverbend MP Matt Genereux has become the third Conservative since the last federal election to cross the floor to the Liberals. In November, he said he intended to step down, but he never officially did. Today, he says after reflection, he wants to continue serving in Parliament with Mark Carney to, quote, help build our country's strength. Miriam Valdez-Carletti reports.
It's a great honor to be on the same team as you at a crucial time.
Matt Genereux and Prime Minister Mark Carney sat side by side in Edmonton today, speaking as colleagues instead of adversaries. Genereux says he knew he wanted to work with Carney after the PM's speech in Davos.
I think for me, that's where a lot of the world changed. I think it opened a lot of eyes for Canadians, Albertans, Edmontonians, just how serious this national meeting crisis truly is.
During the federal election last spring, Genereux won his riding for the Conservatives by more than 3,000 votes. In November, there were rumors Genereux would cross the floor. Instead, he announced he would resign as an MP. We asked people in Edmonton Riverbend about Genereux's move.
Well, I voted Liberal in the last election, and obviously Mr. Genereux was elected here, and so I'm just pleased that he crossed the floor and we're that much closer to a majority government.
The man's a coward. He's a liar.
Do you feel betrayed?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, people here did not vote for a Liberal government, and that's who he's supporting.
Genereux is the third Conservative to cross the floor in as many months. This MacEwan University political science professor says under Carney, the Liberal Party has become more centrist, making the move less surprising.
This becomes much more of a thing that they can do in terms of switching parties and still feel like they're representing their constituents, they're able to achieve and focus on the issues that they want to.
The recent efforts to bring Alberta and Ottawa closer together, Boyd says adding an extra Albertan voice will help.
I think that makes a big deal for the Liberal Party and the federal government here in Alberta.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
Danielle is up next with her Skywatch forecast, and she did mention the morning wind chill is going to be close to minus 40. Will it improve? Those details next.
Well, I really haven't been able to say it this much this winter, but Alberta is the coldest province in the country today. This is look at daytime highs. Edmonton got to minus 24, Calgary minus 23. That is not even factoring in wind chill that was well into the minus 30s. Definitely a different story in BC. Victoria, Vancouver got to plus 5 today, and more reasonable in Regina at minus 4, and even more reasonable in Saskatoon at minus 15. Warmer temperatures out east, finally. 3 degrees was the high in Toronto and 1 for Montreal. Radar and satellite. We did have some flurries. These have since really fizzled out. Nothing that added to accumulation, but did reduce visibility in some isolated areas at times throughout the evening hours. These clouds are going to clear out tonight, setting us up for sunshine for tomorrow. It will be a little deceiving. Just keep that in mind. You're going to look outside, see some sunshine, think it might be okay. It's still going to be absolutely frigid. So while the sun may help it feel a tad bit warmer tomorrow, we're still going to have the coldest part of this cold stretch tomorrow morning with a wind chill of minus 37 in the city. Wow. All right. So when we look at that upper air analysis, the jet stream is in the darker green here. The jet stream is all the way down in Southern California, Arizona, and Texas. That's unusual. And that's allowed this Arctic air to just pool on in. And again, it's staying around for a while, with the coldest part of this being today and tomorrow. And then we're going to have the jet stream shift up a little bit, create some westerly flow and a bit of a Chinook-like condition on Friday. But it will still be cold and well below normal, but it will be more reasonable than the cold we have right now. Here you go, longer range forecast. Tomorrow, lots of layers, again with a wind chill of -37. You can get frostbite on exposed skin in way less than 30 minutes. So layer up for sure and bundle up when you are heading out to work and school in the morning hours. -16 is the base temperature, the actual temperature for our daytime high in the afternoon, but it will still feel more like -24 with that wind chill. As the jet stream shifts up on Friday a little bit, we'll get to -8 with some westerly winds, but then we drop back down to the minus double digits to kick off the weekend on Saturday.
All right, Danielle, thanks so much. A University of Calgary student has raced to the top of collegiate eNASCAR standings. He's one of the most consistent performers on the virtual circuit. We'll strap in for a lap or two next. In a sport built on speed, precision, and nerves, a University of Calgary student is making a name for himself without ever strapping into a physical race car. At just 19 years old, Connor Yershak is one of the top virtual sim racers in the world on NASCAR's collegiate circuit. Mark Villani has his story.
Straight away for the final time, the Calgary Dinos got a shot at this! It's a race to the finish, and though it looks real and it feels real, Connor Yershak is doing this all from the comfort of his own home.
It's something I've done for years now, so it's like second nature to me at this point.
The 19-year-old competes in the eNASCAR Collegiate Series, representing the University of Calgary as the lone Canadian in a field of predominantly American competitors. Who will survive the chaos? Using a simulated platform called iRacing, he's able to race on real-world tracks with sophisticated vehicle models, turning what many see as a game into a high-pressure, high-skill competition.
There's tons going on, and I mean, you're always thinking about strategies. You're thinking about how you're going to adjust the car, change the setups, what tire strategy you're on.
That strategic mindset makes Yershak one of the best racers in the world. He won Rookie of the Year last year and sits on top of the college standings this year, becoming the first to win back-to-back tournaments at the recent Daytona and Iowa events.
There's definitely some pressure to, finish the rest of the season strong.
Look like he's going to be the next college champion, and that usually foretells the next great one in the sim world.
Only the fastest drivers in the world get the chance to compete at this level, and there's real cash on the line. Winning a race earns you $3,000 in scholarship money. Winning the championship adds another $10,000 to your pocket, a sport that's rapidly been growing since NASCAR's pivot to iRacing during the COVID-19 pandemic.
After COVID, that credibility really came through where drivers and teams were using iRacing to prepare for races.
And aside from taking a victory lap, Connor Yershak says the real rewards come from the lessons he learns along the way.
The pressure of the big moments, and the opportunities and the people I've met, these are all skills.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
And Yershak tonight holds an 18-point lead atop the eNASCAR Collegiate iRacing standings. Good for him. All right, that's it for us. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you soon. Good night.